Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jack, and I specialize in peeling back the layers of reality to reveal the hidden, the unexplained, and often the truly chilling. And if you're looking for ordinary, you're in the wrong place. My mission is to unearth the deepest, most unsettling mysteries that lurk just beneath the surface of our world, the ones very few people ever discover. Today we're diving headfirst into a story so strange, so bizarre, it might just redefine what you think is possible. Prepare yourselves. This one, it might just stay with you long after the video ends. Okay, everyone, find a moment to think about memory, about the landscapes of our minds, the places we've been, the things we've seen, stored within our consciousness. We trust our memories to reflect reality, to align with the world we share. But what if a memory surfaced vivid and detailed of a place that simply did not exist? And what if, when you described this impossible place, others felt a strange, unsettling familiarity, as if they too remembered a city that never was? We're talking about the man who remembered a city that never was. False memory, or suppressed reality. And the terrifying truth about a forgotten place leaking into our minds. Morocco, a country in North Africa, a land of ancient cities, bustling markets, vast deserts and coasts meeting the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. It's a place where history is layered, where reality can feel both ancient and immediate. In one of its cities, a man, let's call him Karim, lived an ordinary life, until the accident, perhaps a severe car crash, a fall, or a traumatic event that left him unconscious, critically injured. He survived, miraculously. But when he woke up, something had fundamentally changed. Alongside his real memories, a new one had surfaced, incredibly vivid, detailed, and utterly impossible. Karim remembered a city he had never been to, a city that did not exist. He called it Al-Jahir. He described it with insistent detail, a bustling port city, maybe on a rocky coast or deep within an unexpected desert oasis. He spoke of its unique, impossible architecture, a landmark building with 3 distinctive towering peaks, a sprawling underground subway system far too complex for a city of its purported size or age, and most bizarrely, a suspended water square, a massive plaza or courtyard elevated high above the city streets, filled with intricate water features, gardens, and impossible structures, seemingly floating or supported by architecture that defied known engineering. Karim's memory of Al-Jahir was as clear and real to him as the memories of his actual hometown. Researchers, psychologists, geographers, urban historians, anomaly investigators, Dr. Anya Sharma, studying the psychological aspects, Ben Carter, analyzing data and searching databases, Dr. Elias Thorne, theorizing on reality memory links, were brought in to examine Karim's case. Initial theories revolved around trauma-induced hallucinations, confabulation, or a particularly vivid false memory, but the sheer consistency and detail of his descriptions, maintained over repeated interviews, defied simple psychological explanation. Geographers and urban historians scoured maps, historical records, architectural databases, satellite imagery, every possible resource. No city matching Al-Jahir, or even remotely similar to its impossible architectural features, had ever existed, anywhere in the world, at any point in known history. It was a city that never was. Then came the unsettling secondary phenomenon, spreading like a strange psychological contagion. As Karim's story became more known, either through confidential research interviews or through the story leaking to the public, perhaps on specialized online forums or fringe media, listeners reported a strange, uncanny sense of familiarity. People from different backgrounds, different countries unrelated to Karim, began contacting researchers. Many reported that when they heard Karim's descriptions of Al-Jahir, the city felt known to them, like a place they had seen in dreams. or visited when they were very young, a memory or impression they couldn't quite grasp, a place that resided just beyond the edge of their conscious recall. This was a form of Mandela Effect, tied to a non-existent geographical location, a shared false memory or suppressed reality. The mystery deepened into terrifying possibilities. Where did Karim's vivid memory come from? Why did it feel familiar to thousands of others? Was it a shared hallucination, a collective delusion taking root? A collective unconscious archetype somehow made concrete by trauma? Or was Al-Jahir real, but hidden from the world, its memory somehow leaking into the minds of those susceptible? What was the link between Karim's trauma and his access to this memory? A seemingly unrelated development added another piece to the puzzle. An old retired architect, perhaps known for ambitious or unconventional designs, read or heard about the descriptions of Al-Jahir, particularly the impossible, suspended water square. He contacted the researchers with trepidation. He confessed that decades ago, early in his career, he had designed a structure exactly like that suspended water square for a major urban development project. It was an ambitious, complex design, but the project was mysteriously and abruptly canceled, and all records of his specific design elements, sketches, blueprints, everything related to that suspended water square concept were inexplicably erased or confiscated. Someone had wanted that specific design element to disappear completely, as if it were too dangerous or revealing to exist. This suggested a suppressed history directly related to one of the city's most impossible features, hinting at a constructed history from which elements of Al-Jahir had been deliberately removed. Driven by the architect's confession and the pervasive sense of shared familiarity, Professor Dmitry Volkov initiated a deep dive into historical maps and documents related to the region around where Karim lived, focusing particularly on Ottoman-era maps, as the Ottoman Empire controlled parts of North Africa and the Middle East for centuries, and their cartography often contained details lost in later surveys. Searching through ancient, often fragile or unverified maps held in private collections or obscure archives, looking for any place names, geographical descriptions, or anomalies that might relate to Al-Jahir, especially in remote or less explored areas like the vast deserts. The shocking twist was found in the brittle pages of an old, previously overlooked Ottoman-era map. It depicted a desert region, perhaps near the coast but extending far inland, an area marked as largely unsurveyed or difficult to access even then. And on this map, a note or label indicated a land area, a region, maybe not a city, but a geographical designation, named El-Zahari. Comparing the rough coordinates and any geographical descriptions, like nearby wadis or rock formations, on the map to modern satellite data showed the location corresponded to a specific, vast, largely unsurveyed desert region, a place where a lost city could plausibly exist, hidden from modern view by sand, time, and remoteness. And the name El-Zahari, it bore a striking phonetic and linguistic resemblance to Al-Jahir. The twist: an unverified, archaic Ottoman-era map from 1846 is discovered depicting a desert region matching the probable location of Al-Jahir based on limited geographical clues, noting a land area named El-Zahari, phonetically similar to Al-Jahir, providing the first potential physical location for the remembered city, and suggesting it was a real, but suppressed or lost place. The implication was staggering. Al-Jahir, El-Zahari might not be entirely non-existent after all. The Ottoman map, though unverified by modern surveys, provided historical evidence that a place with a remarkably similar name existed in a specific desert region, a region now conveniently unsurveyed. Karim's vivid memory, triggered by trauma, and the shared familiarity experienced by others, the architect's erased project, all might be fragmented echoes or suppressed knowledge of a real place. El-Zahari, Al-Jahir, lost to history perhaps, buried in the desert or existing on a different plane of reality, tethered to that specific location. The false memory or suppressed reality leaned definitively towards suppressed reality. The horror was realizing that a city, a significant human settlement, could be erased or suppressed from history and collective memory, yet linger as a pervasive, shared feeling or vivid false memory, pointing to a secret, possibly dangerous location. The memory and familiarity were echoes of this suppressed reality, fragments of knowledge or psychic residue that had somehow leaked into the collective consciousness or individual mind susceptible due to trauma or other unknown factors. The architect's erased design for the suspended water square wasn't just a coincidence. It was either a design from Al-Jahir that had leaked into his mind, perhaps through dreams or the collective unconscious, or his attempt to recreate a feature of a place he also felt a strange familiarity with. The deliberate suppression of his project confirmed that someone or something wanted all knowledge of such structures, and by extension the city, to disappear completely. This was evidence of a deep, ongoing conspiracy. The Ottoman map provided the first tangible, albeit unverified, historical evidence of a physical location for the memory, suggesting that Al-Jahir wasn't just a figment of traumatized minds, but a lost place pointing to a secret, possibly dangerous location in the unsurveyed desert, the earth. The purpose? Why was Al-Jahir El-Zahari built? What was its purpose? Why was it suppressed or lost? By whom? Why does its memory persist in this way, leaking into collective consciousness? The city-state. Does the city still exist, hidden in the desert, perhaps shielded by technology or dimensional barriers? Or does it exist entirely on another plane, only accessible via that location, or perhaps through altered states of consciousness like trauma or dreams? What happens to those whose memories of it become too strong? The entity, is the city itself a conscious entity, a complex construct of collective memory and architecture? Is there an entity tied to suppressed history, collective memory, the desert location, or the city's existence? One that guards its secrets or orchestrates its suppression? The mind's eye, the spiral, disorientation, reality questioning, the uncanny familiarity, the unknowing, the earth, the buried, the conspiracy. The Magnus Archives horror was deeply psychological, historical, and environmental. The horror of false, suppressed memory, questioning reality, the chilling feeling of shared knowledge of a non-existent place, the paranoia of a constructed or edited history where truth is hidden, all strike at the foundation of perception and reality, the mind's eye, the spiral. The unknowing source and purpose remain elusive. What is Al-Jahir, El-Zahari? Where exactly is it? Why was it built? Why hidden? What's in the desert? The unknowing. The pervasive sense of a vast hidden conspiracy working to suppress the city's existence adds a layer of dread and distrust. The conspiracy, the buried, the desert as a vast, empty, possibly dangerous environment hiding a lost city, the earth itself holding secrets beneath its sand. The earth, the vast. The disorientation of not knowing what's real, the uncanny familiarity, the potential for reality itself to twist or loop around this suppressed city, the spiral. The unbuilt nature of the architect's design element being key adds a layer of architectural horror related to unmanifested places, the architect. The burden on researchers and those who remember the city, carrying knowledge that contradicts known reality and points to a dangerous secret, the burden. The false memory, or suppressed reality, pointed to a constructed history. The Mandela Effect revealed the echo of a lost city, El-Zahari, from an Ottoman map. The researchers, Dr. Sharma, Ben Carter, Dr. Thorne, Professor Volkov, Dr. Petrova, Karim, the architect, and the clandestine team, are left with the horrifying reality of a suppressed city whose memory is leaking into the world, anchored by a hidden location in the desert and evidence of deliberate erasure. The investigation continues under intense secrecy. They are mounting an expedition to survey the specific desert region indicated by the Ottoman map, El-Zahari, a dangerous undertaking due to its remoteness, harsh terrain, and the potential of unseen threats guarding the lost city. More research into the Ottoman map. Are there other details, symbols, or associated documents that shed light on El-Zahari or its fate? Research into the old architect and his erased project. Was he connected to anything else unusual? Any notes he kept? Any other suppressed projects? Research into the nature of memory and trauma triggers. Why did Karim's accident unlock this? Is his trauma ongoing? Can it spread? The terrifying debate centers on what happens if they find the location. Is the city still there, hidden? Is it a gateway to another dimension or time? Is it a trap? What happens if the memories in others become stronger, perhaps leading them to seek the city? What happens if the city's existence or remanifestation causes reality to destabilize, proving the suppression was necessary? The fear that unlocking the secret of Al-Jahir El-Zahari might remanifest a dangerous place, awaken something trapped, or attract the attention of whatever powerful entity or force suppressed it in the first place. The man who remembered a city that never was is real. He is a man in Morocco who, after an accident, vividly remembers a non-existent port city named Al-Jahir, featuring impossible architecture, a memory that feels strangely familiar to many others, linked to an old architect whose design for a suspended water square for a mysteriously erased project matched a feature of Al-Jahir. The twist reveals an unverified Ottoman-era map from 1846, depicting a desert region corresponding to the likely location of Al-Jahir, noting a land area named El-Zahari, strongly suggesting Al-Jahir El-Zahari was a real, but suppressed or lost, city hidden in the desert. The Magnus Archives horror remains a chilling undercurrent, amplified by the psychological invasion, the historical conspiracy, and the physical potential of the suppressed city. The pervasive sense of dread that comes with knowing that a city can be erased from history, its memory existing as a pervasive familiarity in collective consciousness, pointing to a secret, perhaps dangerous location in the desert. What was Al-Jahir? Why was it suppressed? What secrets does it hold? What happens to those who remember it too well? What happens if they find it? What happens if it's waiting for them? What happens if it decides to stop waiting and come back on its own? Sleep well, and next time you have a strange feeling of déjà vu about a place you've never been, or see an impossible building in a dream, remember Karim in Morocco. Remember Al-Jahir. Remember El-Zahari. Remember the suspended water square. Remember the erased blueprint. Remember the Ottoman map. Remember the unsurveyed desert. Remember the shared familiarity. Remember the city that never was. Because the man who remembered a city that never was is a terrifying secret, and its suppressed memory is a chilling invitation to consider the possibility that some places don't just get lost, they get hidden, and sometimes they try to be remembered. What happens when enough people remember it? What happens when the memory becomes real again? This story was just a glimpse into the strange realities I explore. There are countless other mysteries out there waiting to be revealed, and I'm dedicated to finding them. But with the kind of topics we cover, sometimes you just can't predict what the future holds. So, to guarantee you're always in the loop, to make sure you catch every unsettling discovery I bring to you, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Don't risk missing out. You might not get another chance.